¿Qué pasa, Mirasa? You are now tuned into I Don't Know It's Perfect. I am your host. I am Mario from the South Side, and I am back again. Excuse me for giving y'all a little break, but obviously we are in sort of like a training process where we're trying to build and grow the podcast and whatnot. So you will see what I'm talking about over time. But today we have a very special episode because not only is it somebody that I deeply, genuinely admire and somebody that I, in a way, look up to in so many ways. Basically, like, the best way to put it is in a city that's rapidly gentrifying and changing to a massive landscape that is, like, slowly and harshly pushing our people out of the way. This is somebody who has been for years pushing back in those type of moments, not only for himself, but for those that can't, even though at times it may seem that he's doing everything he can because he has the willpower, but in reality it's the moment that he is basically risking everything and building it all at the same time. From politics to music to benevolence, ladies and gentlemen, Vintage Jay. What's up, bro?
That was a great intro, bro.
Yeah?
Damn.
I've been working on it.
That was a great intro. That's probably the best intro I've probably gotten.
Hey, I appreciate it. We're growing. We're growing.
Badass, bro.
But I mean, it was something that needed to be done for you because you are somebody that kind of represents not only like outside of like just what we're interviewing you for, but as a staple for the podcast. Because like we were just talking about, you're one of the first artists that we actually sat down with on the podcast when we were still kind of joking around about which direction we were going to take. And you were, I think, the first artist that actually reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm Vintage Jay. I do this and that. I would like to come on your show." You know, just approach me more on a professional manner. But I never thought that it would kind of like we'd hit it off and fucking do everything that we've done since then. Because looking back, I mean, we were able. What has it been, like 4 years now that we've known each other? And we've done charities, we've done music, we've done everything, concerts, you know, everything you could think of. But just for the sake of people that may not know who they're listening or watching, give a little background to yourself, just a little brief intro.
My name is Vintage Jay. I rise up from the north side, Rumberg area, to be exact. I run a music label called Northway, a collective of 4, me, Sabrina, Sorte, and Northside O'Malley. Community advocate, entrepreneur, philosopher, brother, vintage head,
a jack of all trades.
You know, real radical individual. A
leader in all sorts.
Trying to be for sure.
So how are you doing today? How's everything going for you? Like
I'm doing good, bro. You came out to the listening session.
Oh yeah, that was nice. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. So great feedback from everybody. Album should be dropping the next 2 weeks. Really just trying to wrap everything put together and make the best out of this one for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like it's it's a very rare moment to be able to witness you whenever you're in album mode, because nowadays it seems like you still represent yourself as a musician, but outside of that, like that's only in brief periods, because it's been one was When Thugs Cry, that one has been over a year now at this point, right?
Correct. Yeah, I haven't dropped anything in 2 years.
Yeah. So between that time from you, doesn't mean that you haven't been doing anything. You've been working hard, like doing crazy. Like you've been doing charity events, working with your school that you went to, working with Mas Cultura. Like I said, we did our own shows and stuff like that. What kind of influenced you to kind of kick off the whole? Just giving back to the community of it. I understand that being from Rumberg played a part in that. What kind of made you be like, okay, I'm now in a position where I can do this, so let me start working on something?
Well, it first started, growing up, we didn't have much. You know what I mean? And what we had, we made the best of it. But it was kind of me taking a big step of like, what can I do to make the young generation or, a young student's life a little bit easier?
Make a clearer path.
Here, where, they walk to school every day, where they walk home from school every day. That's kind of was my approach in the beginning. Once I started getting into these meetings and, hopping on like AISD, like, big meetings, like where like there's politicians, even like in nonprofit organizations, you start learning a lot of things that
how
the ins and outs are, and how sometimes you might think people are with you, but they're not all the way with you there.
Yeah, you start reading between the lines and figuring
correct out. And then obviously you have to follow like city regulations, and if you want to do something for the community, you have to follow a certain protocol.
You can't just do whatever you want.
You can't just be like, hey, I'm gonna set up right here and I'm gonna boom.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So it's definitely been a really, really good learning experience, and I from what I hear from my colleagues and other friends that do this community advocacy stuff, it's important for like young men like that look like me to do this, because then it influences or it inspires other men that look like me. You know what I mean? And I feel like us as men, like we don't take advantage of power. We use our power to give opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
And definitely like hearing you all say all that, I'm like it now at this point, seeing you when you do it, or even when I work with you on certain events, it seems like it comes effortlessly. And I guess now hearing that you had to like find out how like the intricacies and the ins and outs of just giving back to the community works, because I'm sure whenever you first started, you were like, shit, like I can't just do it like that, you had to like take a step back and be like, okay, I can't do that because I have to take care of this, that, and this. And now, like, I'm sure once you know that, like, you've reached a point where like you can just like plan something out and just kind of like put your all into it. You're just gonna have to have the idea.
Now it's definitely a bit easier, and like community organizing, like that's like I feel like once you know how to do that from the bottom floor to the top, then you start then you can do way more different stuff. But yeah.
What has been your, I guess, out of all the events that you've had and put together, what has been some of your favorite ones?
It had to be COVID, the protests that I organized for the for the kids and that were stuck in the cages for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like that was probably one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
I kid you not, because I was scared. I kid you not.
Yeah,
I was a bit afraid. I never done anything close to that. I wouldn't even never imagine like leading or an organized a protest, especially at that time that the world was on.
So
you know
intense.
what I mean? So intense in all angles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, a Mexican born, kid rising up and taking that leadership.
It definitely meant a lot.
It meant a lot, bro. It meant a lot, and it was just crazy, bro. Like, and then like one thing my homie Patrick told me, like he was like, "Wow, like I can't believe like we really did this. Like, I can't believe we really did this. We sat down, we planned it, and we went with it. I don't know how many we had in attendance. Probably
it was a gang of people.
Probably like it was a small protest, but honestly, we probably had like about like 200 people in attendance, bro. And we marched from the Capitol all the way to City Hall. And then you have that one photo when I'm holding the flag, like, bro, like.
Nah, I remember. It's such an iconic picture too, because like that picture alone, like, and you being from Mexico is it definitely like speaks so much beyond that, because like like I said, you're risking everything at some point, but still like building a whole like sense of like you're telling something in the sense of the political movement that you're trying to move forward towards, and you think that kind of kicked off your
that put
movement?
A fucking flame in me, bro.
Yeah,
that put a high flame in me. Like once I did that, I was like, like I'm not, I like ain't nobody can stop me.
Yeah,
from that point on forward, like nobody can stop me. Like I remember sitting there, like standing up in City Hall, like screaming, like getting goosebumps, because I'm like, wow, like I'm really out here, and shout out to like a couple of my friends that showed up. I know getting out on the street, it's a it's not meant for everybody.
Yeah, at
But,
that time too, because a lot of people knew, like, just from seeing that was happening in every other city, it was not going to end out well for the most part. That's what it seemed like.
And then honestly, it did not end up well. Towards the end, a couple people got arrested. I'm not gonna lie to you. A couple people got arrested, got a little physical with the cops.
Yeah.
And a couple people got arrested, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it for sure must have set an example of what point you were trying to make whenever you're trying to just do a peaceful protest, and for it to end like that, it really
and then
proves your point.
And then for the most part, for me, I was trying to keep it peaceful. But you gotta realize that the people out there are so angry. They're as much angry as I am.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And cops can. They're gonna do what they want to do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and some face consequences, some others don't. But yeah, that was.
Yeah, and it's been definitely it's been wonderful to be able to see that happening, but also experience it alongside, because we've had like our fair share of toy drives, and I even remember right before that when we got together and we were just like, let's pack a bunch of essential baggies so we can go and give out. And I remember we had gone out there. It was me, you, Manny, Mo, and a few other of us, and that was like one of those eerie moments for 2020 where you go downtown and it's a ghost town, So
was that the first time you ever did something like that?
Not necessarily. I think probably just that was a little bit bigger because there was more of us.
Mm-hmm.
I've always tried to do nice things, but once I think I started finally working with you and being able to see that we can do stuff, and then obviously working with Dez and Monica and everybody, now it's also reached different heights. Obviously not as big as what
shout out to Dez and Monica.
Yeah,
we
love
you
all the way. That's love for the team from the
badass chingonas, bro. Big high fives.
Definitely would not be able to do stuff without those women.
Yeah, they
make
they're
a lot
huge help.
They're definitely genuine leaders for sure.
Right.
But from that to even our toy drives, and even kind of pushed me to be able to have my own, to kind of lead my own this last year, so it's been definitely
that was a great turnaround for you too.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I was definitely grateful for that. But outside of that, because you've been doing that, and then also dabbling, even though you haven't necessarily were working in music in that time period from the last album, you and I got together and we did La Buena Onda, and we did a few shows, and it was a really good turnout. And at that first time, we kind of surprised ourselves because
what you think about the first one?
The first one was really
that was I feel like the first one was the best one.
Yeah, for sure, because it was people. I don't think people expected it, coming from you and I, and just kind of doing something like that, because not only then we go to Mala Vida, which is at this point I don't even think you could book a show there because
they just make too much money.
Yeah, they're blowing up like crazy.
Yeah,
but we did it at a perfect time, and like I said, I don't think people saw that coming. And then once they did show up and people came to support and people just showed up, they did not expect the bandas to be obviously the people that went to go check out the bandas, they went for them, but you have people who came because of the artists, the hip hop bands,
Mm-hmm.
And so you see there, you listen to that, and then the bandas come on, and it's a whole different energy that takes over, and then people just loved it, But it definitely was a good experience, and obviously it's not the end of that, but
and we made some money too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We made some. Even Fernando was like,
yeah,
okay,
everybody was shocked.
I was like, yeah, you know what I mean. We made some money off all local acts, bro.
And we ran that show in we did it in less than a month.
We did it in less than a month. We had 3 weeks of promo. We didn't no high blog
no
posted us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It was us just
no high big press. It was, we really did shit.
All that on our phones.
Yeah, out the mud. You know what I mean. And we gave people a great experience.
Straight out of pocket.
Straight out of pocket. We funded ourselves, and we made our money back and times two.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Definitely, it was a great experience for sure, which made me excited. And since we have the other ones that we've had, it definitely is exciting to see what more we can continue to do. Because that's still something that I don't think a lot of people have been able to pull off since then. I don't think nobody's ever done that or has continued to try to do that. I think we just have such a good sense of what's out there as far as the Latino artists, Mexican artists, the bandas, what have you, that not everybody has the benefit to be connected like that. Where we're on
correct. The lineup was great too. The lineup, the bandas were fire, and like you said, we picked Mala. at a perfect time. Like, you know what I mean? At a really, really perfect time.
Yeah.
And then they started throwing shows at Mala.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up,
we ain't gonna say no names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they took a couple artists from our lineup. But
yeah. It is what it is. You set up
but that's good though. Like, you know, that's really good. Like it lets us know that
we're doing something right.
We're doing something right.
We came up with something, and people saw the potential in it, and try to keep going with it. You know, whether it works out or not. You know, it's good to see that our whatever we birth like can grow like that. You know, because that's what we want at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. We want our artists to be able to expand in that sense. You know, like at the next show after that, we had Dome Man and Southside Hoodlum. You know, which is pretty big. You know,
which was a badass
because they reached out and they wanted us to do their show, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do it. You know. Yeah. But then after that, you had worked with the first official Mas Cultura festival, right?
The first official 3-day Mas Cultura festival.
And how was that like? Because I know it helped you out a little bit in that, but not as far as like the specifics on that. But how was that whole experience for you?
It was overwhelming sometimes. Yeah, because it's a 3-day thing, and then you know, and not only that, but you're working with Monica. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Monica she has really, really, you have to have really, really thick skin if you want to work.
She's a very strong woman.
In a high department with her. Yeah. If you want to work in a low department with her, that's totally fine. But if you want to work in a high department with her, you have to have really, really thick skin. Yeah. That's just the way she works. That's just the way she is. And some people are programmed a little bit different than others, you know, and some people can take it and some people cannot. But it was a great experience, bro. It was a great experience. Everything was, you know, meetings every week, bro. 2 meetings every day, every week. Going to check out the venue, like plotting out like the way we're gonna map things, you know, and from picking the artists, you know what I mean, picking the space, like KMFA, like you went, like how it was fucking amazing, you know what I mean.
It was a great turn all 3 days.
The return, and you know, and then Saturday we have the after hours show at Rich's Art Gallery that I was primary directing.
Yeah, shout out Richie's. Shout out
Richie's, man. That's my dog. Like,
such
you know, black owned. I think the only black owned art gallery in Austin.
It's always popping off in there.
Always popping. Great guy, you know, great environment there, and you know, and then Sunday we went with the lowrider car show. Yeah. Outside KMFA, you know, and that was dope as hell as well.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a perfect way that it was set up because, like you said, obviously the first night, I mean, we had a little too much fun on that the VIP night.
Y'all got cut off at the bar.
And then you had the second night, which was the show, you know, and then that show itself just it was exciting to see the turnout for the artists that performed because there was like how they were like placed was just perfect, you know, like there was some of my favorite artists that all performed, you know, and it was a great response and just another good time, you know, and then just to like slow it down on the Sunday with the fucking chill and lowriders, you know,
cafecito and pan and tamales and stuff.
Yeah, everything. So it was definitely nice. So I'm excited to see the next one that comes around this time.
And it was our first one, so I feel like if as much as new it was for me, it was new for everybody. Yeah, you know what I mean. I believe this was that was the first time like Monica had something like that as big as that, you know, and it requires a lot of work
for sure.
You know,
a lot of attention,
you know, and shout out her for trusting me and giving me that role to completely direct the Saturday show. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, it was a great turnout, bro. It was a great turnout, and we were featured on the news as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like shout out Leslie, you know, with Fox News. They had us on the news. We spreaded the word, and I know this year
we'll go harder.
We're gonna go harder for sure.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I'm definitely excited to see that, and and just from my experience too, like it's whenever you're dealing with Monica, like you know you're in some real shit. Like some shit's actually gonna like happen. Like Monica's the type that you can't just say no to her. Like she's gonna find a way to make that shit happen. She's like her now, you know. So
to make that shit happen.
It's definitely been a
shout out to Monica and Mas Cultura, man.
Yeah, all the way.
Like representing and shining light to us
To la
Latinos,
cultura.
Mexicanos, Chicanos,
Of
to
all
la
generations,
cultura,
too.
all generations. You know what I mean? And all, bro. And it was so what I love it, bro, is that like all different hoods, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, well,
yeah.
you have East Siders, South Siders, and North Siders
All in one house.
all in one house. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that, honestly, I don't think that has ever happened before.
Yeah,
As
no.
far as like the roles that everybody has, I don't think honestly that has ever happened before. Like,
No, because like I hate to say it, but like Austin just has this bad history where kind of everybody just keeps to themselves, keeps to their side, keeps to their group, or keeps to whatever, and just people complain about it all the time how nobody wants to work with each other, but nobody actually takes the initiative to try to work with each other. You know, like, and there is people that
That's
do,
the first
are
step.
open. Yeah, I gotta get out of that crab mentality where you just crabs in a bucket. You know, like, no, that is never gonna work. You know, somebody has to come around and tip the bucket over so we can actually do something. You know. But it is nice to be able to see that, because even then, like, it is cultura and it is for our raza that everything Monica's doing, but she is not the type to like to stray away from working with somebody like Chaka, someone from Dawa. You know, like that's they're partners. You know, in
yeah,
so
absolutely.
many ways.
Really,
So,
really, they're really good friends too.
yeah, so like it's not something where it's like, oh, you can only come around if you're brown or Hispanic or whatever. And I was like, no, it's all inclusive. You know, we just want to kind of shine light on our side because. And,
They don't give us no light, and they're not gonna give us no light unless we go and take it. You know.
Yeah. And I guess like with that being said, like, how do you feel like up until now, like, where has our place in the city always stood? Like, what do you feel like it's been like over the last few years, like in music and the scene and the culture or whatever?
Honestly, how can I say this? We're not gonna get respected. You know, we're not gonna get respected unless we put our work in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We never do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in real life stuff.
Yeah.
You know, aside from music, culture, whatever you want to call it, right? They don't give us our respect, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything that I feel like the brown community has done and accomplished, like, we went out there and
did it ourselves.
did our shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We demanded that, like, you know, we're gonna go take the cookie jar from Big Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like the more we stick together, the higher impact we can have.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, obviously that comes with, like, you know, lowering your ego,
Putting all bullshit aside.
Putting all bullshit aside, you know,
like,
being a student to the game. You know what I mean? If this person has more experience than you, okay, let me learn from. Let me just.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro.
How can we work together?
How can we work together? Like, I'm here. Like, you know what I mean? If you drop this, I'm gonna be right here to pick it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because.
And that's what people don't understand, because like a lot of times they think people, like, I've even been like, I've been at that fault where I just thought that I could handle everything, but it took me just fucking wearing myself out thin to where, like, you know what, I can't, you know, let me reach out, let me see who I can work with, or let me see who I can, like, help out with them helping me out, because I can't do everything, you know. But there's so many people in the city that are capable, more than capable of doing a whole bunch that would take off a lot off of me. You know, take Everett, for example. You know, he definitely helped the show for, like, so much, you know, and took it to another level.
It's a talented motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. And now he's over here running Dawa, the studio and whatnot. So it's definitely been a pleasure to be able to learn that firsthand, because a lot of people I think people get intimidated and feel like you said, like, they let their ego speak to them.
Man, one thing I learned, bro, especially from these older dudes, bro. I just turned 27. One thing I've learned from these older dudes is that they get intimidated really, really fast. Yeah. I don't know why. I really don't. I really don't know why. And you know, people out here, you know, they'll come up to you in real life or not, and everything is all good. But, like, you know, they're not really supporting what's important to support. You know, I'm sure if I post a music video with 20 women dancing, they'll probably support that, but they ain't gonna support you know what I mean, a turkey drive we got going on, or a Mas Cultura event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with these high platform, I guess, blogs and accounts that the city has now. Like, Mas Cultura didn't get posted like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything we did, like, we got it out the mud.
Yeah.
So, and it goes back again. It was like, ain't nobody gonna give us shit.
No, yeah, you kind of like, unless it's like super popular and shiny, like people ain't gonna.
Unless like, you know, you out here kissing ass and, you know what I mean, being buddy, which ain't nothing wrong with building a great relationship with somebody, but a lot of times it's like if a person won't, a lot of times someone won't help you unless it benefits them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not the way you should work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've done stuff for a lot of people where I don't want the credit. It doesn't, you know, I don't need a favor back, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I'm genuinely doing this, you know what I mean, to not only better the person, but just better myself as a human being.
Do better and move forward with it.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it 100%. And that makes it more difficult. But it's in times like those that where we got to kind of like be like, take a step back and be like, you know what? I don't need them. We could do this shit ourselves. And we 100% of the time so far, we do that shit ourselves.
And also the celebration feels better like that.
Yeah. You ain't gotta pay nobody back. You ain't gotta come back to anybody and return no favor. Like, you kind of just pat yourselves in the back, cheers, and move it, plan to the next one, you know? And that's, you know, unfortunately that's how it is, but it feels even better. You know,
it feels 100% better.
Yeah, for sure. And so now it seems like that's kind of is the case with North, because you guys have your own camp that it seems it's been building up over the last few years, and shit, even like how has that progress been for you building up? Because it's like something sort of like looking at it from the outside in, it's like in comparison to like TDE or something like that, where you kind of just have like each other's own thing going on, but at the same time it's a collective that whoever works with whoever is gonna fucking turn out great, you know, and like all the stuff that you guys put together. How has that whole process been for you?
It's definitely a big learning experience, bro.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know, I'm never the type to say that I know everything, because I do not. But just having you know, those artists in the same studio and kind of trying to program them to always create freely.
It's like a different leadership style.
It's a way different leadership style, because I'm an artist as well. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that we feel like we feel together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, I feel like I've developed myself to a point where like I can for sure help.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, help is wanted. But I feel like one thing is like I said, like to trying to create freely. If you stay in that creativity hallway, like trying just to create free, things will come out very, very good from you from the studio.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna be like thinking about too much about like what are you gonna say, or what's this next bar is, or like what am I gonna sing on the hook.
It just falls perfectly in place.
It just falls perfectly in place, you know, and also the work ethic. You know, you work whenever you go into the studio or whenever you find inspiration to write. You know how to turn that switch. Compared to, damn, I've been sitting here for 2 hours, I can't write nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? That means get your work ethic up. You know what I mean? And once again, trying to create freely.
Yeah.
That's kind of what a big role that I've been trying to put into them.
Yeah.
And even to myself, you know, it's not.
Yeah, I would imagine it's hard because like that's not the only thing you have going on, like especially like in times where you're like dealing with like Mas Cultura or doing your events and having meetings
and then dealing
like
with my own life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not even including including your own personal life, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like that comes with a leader. You know what I mean? I feel like that comes with a leader. Like, you know,
you have to know how to balance all that.
You know how to, correct. You know, and I don't I don't sit here and, you know, in the corner and like,
Yeah.
like hell no, like what's up, what's next? Like, okay,
Yeah.
we finished my school
We'll
through that
figure that
fest.
out.
You best believe the next day I'm all right. What are we doing next?
Yeah.
You know,
And that's how it should be, because it's a mentality that you're constantly like working and constantly moving forward to the next thing. So under pressure, it works out great because since you're constantly thinking, you're trying to figure out solutions or how to.
and
resolve
we
yeah,
were raised to live
figure
under
out shit
pressure.
like that. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
you know,
yeah, that's for sure. Because you grow up as a kid with a lot of responsibility. Like you do a lot for your parents, and then like a lot more comes later in life, and you just grow up as an adult. You know you grow up as an adult.
You're an adult by like 14,
By default.
15. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? By default, like
Yeah,
by my freshman year of high school, like I had a job.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my mom. You think my mom was gonna buy me them $150, $200 Jordans?
Yeah,
Hell no.
Yeah.
What did she say? You want that? You want to buy those shoes? Get your ass to work and know and learn how it is to feel to work for your money.
Yeah, and I feel like we kind of got lucky in the sense where we were like stuck between because right now, like in this time period, we're in between the two generations where we're like, a lot of people are breaking the generational curses where you go from like the traditional generational people that came from Mexico and like grew up out there with that mindset, but then you have like the next generation where people are like, don't really want to work like that. So we're like in the sweet middle spot where we like pick that ethic up, but we also know like what's right and what's wrong. So you know, like coming forward, you're moving forward, and you know how things should be, and you know it's gonna take a lot. So you have that work ethic where you will stop at nothing till that shit gets done. You know,
Yeah.
So it's definitely a benefit because I can't imagine just expecting shit to just be handed over and
No, and it also like that. I feel like if that wasn't like shown to us early, like we would not been developed as strong men as we are now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, even for you, like, you know, you kind of had to grow up a little bit faster than a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you having Nova early. You know what I mean? I can only imagine.
Yeah, it definitely rushes everything.
You know, how old were you?
I was 18, 17.
You know what I mean? So like, at that time, like,
Kind of have to figure shit out.
You have to figure stuff out. You know,
yeah.
and I can only imagine, like, you know, the thoughts of a young 18-year-old, 17-year-old at that time saying like, oh.
Yeah.
I can't be out here playing around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely something switched, and now I had to kind of like step away from like the certain lifestyle I had that I was living when I was growing up as a kid, you know, just running fucking amok and just causing shit here and there or whatever, getting in trouble. So definitely it had some changes that had to be done, you know. Obviously, even now at this point, there's still been a lot of changes as I'm going where I realize, okay, like I can't keep doing that, so I got to do this now, or I got to change that so I can move better in this way, you know. So it all comes with it. As an adult, obviously, it's easier, but when you're a kid, like, it's not like shit doesn't click for you just like that, you know, like you don't understand the gravity of like what could happen, you know, like I just for me, like for example, like as a kid, like I had my parents, you know, like obviously I'm first generation born here. I'm the oldest of I have 3 siblings, and I had a situation once when I was a kid, and my parents like, Dad, like it gets late, you start drinking or whatever, like after parties, and your parents, that's when your parents choose to get real with you, you know, in the worst times when everybody's drinking. But they like would sat down with me and we were like, tell me straight up, like, hey, like, just so you know, if something ever happens, if we get taken away, you're responsible for your siblings. Looking back, I didn't think nothing. I was like, yeah, I'll take care of my brothers.
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, looking back, I'm like, damn, like, if that shit had happened, like, there would have been a huge, like.
Imagine that role.
Yeah, bro, as a fucking teenager.
And it's crazy because there's thousands of people out there in the world that have taken those roles. Even, how old were you whenever you feel like those conversations started?
Probably like 16, 15.
Bro, there's people that at 10 years old have to.
Yeah, and that's when they decided to tell me about it, because this shit could have been a worry from my birth, you know, since then, you know, like, it's just shit like that we don't ever think about, you know, like, luckily, thanks to God, that, like, it didn't ever have to come down to that, but, like, it's shit like that kind of adds on and tacks on to you.
And let me add something, too. You remember when 50 Cent said, man, depression is a luxury?
Yeah.
Bro, imagine if I would have told my mom when we were living in the project, like, hey, mom, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Bro, she would have slapped me in the back of the motherfucking
And then I
head.
think that's where it kind of correlates to where, like, you know what? I don't have time to feel that. So I'm going to go drink it. I'm going to go smoke it. I'm going to go do whatever to just fucking numb that shit.
Yeah, or like, go play sports.
Yeah.
Or go play sports.
Yeah, play sports and do the right thing because you're going to distract yourself from those emotions. Because sometimes when you come out of the poverty and stuff like that, like, you can't really, like, risk waiting and sacrificing time to do stuff like that, you know?
No, yeah, absolutely, bro. And, like, it's true. Like, that is, like, man, that 50 Cent, like, shout out for that little quote right there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't afford to be depressed, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we really didn't. Like,
Yeah.
for the people that really come out these ghettos and these under-resourced, like, areas, you know. And
yeah. And that's why it's so nice to be able to see you going back to the schools that you came up in and then having these events. Because, like, I feel like every other time that, like, I'm, like, texting you or something, like, you're at an event.
Like, where you at? You're like, where you at, bro? Shit, I got a community in the morning, bro. I'm inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing to be able to see that because, like, I feel like you see yourself in those kids.
I see myself a lot in those kids, bro. Even, like, in the little mean ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember how I was, you know, at that young of age. And yeah, bro. It's and it's dope also because, like, these kids are so smart.
Yeah.
Like, when I went to go talk to it was your elementary at Mount Top.
My elementary was Linder.
Linder. When I went to go talk in Linder, and I gave up.
Oh yeah, remember?
You know, shout out Jose, man, my good friend Jose. He's a teacher over there. Mm-hmm. He put me on. He, you know, shared my story with the school, and they're like, yeah, let's bring him on. And when I was answering questions from kids, like, bro, like, so smart, bro, like, second graders,
asking just
like second graders, like, asking me like real smart questions, bro, like, you know. And I was like, it lets me know that, you know, this generation is definitely,
they're gonna be all right.
They're gonna be all right, you know what I mean? But they definitely have to.
You need to be able to help them have a clearer path,
you know, and they have to be confident, bro.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
Sure.
I feel like that's one thing that I pushed really on them, and when my small minutes that I had talking to them was pushing that confidence in them, like. You know, bro, like, you know, you have to be confident in everything you do. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to, like, a business, a platform you're building, or, you know, your music, your clothing brand, the sauce you give in a sport, if it's football, basketball, soccer, whatever it is, you know, you have to be super, super confident. You know, if not, people are going to run all over you.
Yeah.
You know, and we cannot have, you know, anybody get ran over, you know what I mean? Especially in the education system when it comes
at a young age like that,
growing up.
It's good to see somebody like yourself come in and, like, kind of, like, influence that confidence, because, like moving forward, it'll definitely, like, spark them knowing that they could do better no matter what path they take, you know, as long as they know what they're working towards and building towards. You know, unfortunately, we didn't really have that growing up, but, like, we were still able to make something of it and, like, you know, like, do better, you know. But if we're able to help out those kids and, like, give them a better opportunity, whether it be coming in and speaking to the schools, the turkey drives or toy drives or whatever, like, it's an amazing feeling. Like, not to brag about it or even talk about it, but, like, because I feel like the only reason that we ever even promote it or even talk about it is because we want to be able to push it out there for people to continue to do that. We don't want to be the only ones.
To take advantage of these resources that we're giving them.
Like, we want everybody to be able to have that opportunity where they can, like, have something to look forward to, you know, like, you know, especially in the holidays. The holidays is it's depression season. Like, people don't acknowledge it, just keep moving, but, like, sometimes that shit don't work out. You know?
You'd be surprised, bro. Like, you know, we'll go and buy, you know, a couple $100, you know, a couple, you know, $500, $1,000 of toys, whatever we can, right, or whatever people donate, or you know, people coming out of pocket, or the camp, and, you know, you give a kid a truck, bro, a little
Yeah.
It could be it could even be a speaker, bro, some headphones, and like
it means the world to them.
it means the world, bro. Like I wish when I was growing up, I wish somebody would come out and give me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, Christmas a lot of times we're dry.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, unless we actually went to like a to a charity event or something where they gave us, you know, like it definitely like it means a lot for sure. So it's like it is amazing to be able to share that experience with you and be able to play some sort of role in giving back.
Yeah, a big role.
Yeah,
you know, you definitely have played a big role. You know,
appreciate it.
And I feel like it's a good way that, you know, we spill to the world. You know what I mean? And also, like, you know, we spill, but we reduce ourselves.
Yeah,
you know, we bring that energy back to us. Like people always tell me, like, "And you do all this, and like, yeah, it's frustrating, it gets overwhelming, and I do get tired sometimes.
Yeah.
But how do I get that energy back? How do I get re-inspired? Let me go do a community event.
Yeah.
Let me go over here. Let me go fund a mural and, you know, see the kids, you know, paint and eat this pizza that with Capri Suns that, you know, we are fortunate to give, you know, which is it's nothing.
It's the little
you know what I mean? It's the little things that really matter. But yeah, it's a good way to spill out to the world.
Yeah.
You know?
So man, I'm excited definitely to see what more you continue to do to give back, and you know what more we continue to work on together, whether it be the charity events, music, whatever, you know, especially
we definitely gotta hit more schools in the South.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I'm all for it. We just gotta find the right people and continue to do it. You know, there's so much stuff that people don't even know that they can get into, you know. So it'll be exciting to see what more this year stores for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even going to the music too, it's been amazing to see your growth from like when I first met you and you did a Kid from Rumburg and I heard it and I was like, man, like that shit's dope. Like I fuck with it, you know. Like over the years, like the next two projects you did, because you had a Begotten Son and then When Thugs Cry. And now with this next project that I was fortunate enough to have a early sneak peek to, which, and I've said it and I keep saying, like it was an amazing project, you know, just from what I heard. The intro itself, I mean, I told you, like, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh shit, like
you got up,
this is different. I had to get up, yeah.
Who did these background vocals? And I was like, "What is that's me? That's me." You're like, "Okay,
yeah." I definitely fuck with it. I'm excited to see the feedback you get from that, because this project,
do you think
I feel it's different.
Think is a lot different from like compared to like the type of songs that I've made prior?
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Because it's like, I know you've always done shit, but I feel like the difference of what you've done in the last 2 years in your own personal life has definitely like elevated you in some another sense for this project. Because how long have you been working on this one for?
I've been working on this one for honestly like 8 months.
8 months, yeah. And so see, even that, like when in that eight month period, we're already doing some serious shit. But before then too, like you get to a different point in life where you're like dealing with some more serious shit compared to whenever you did a Kid from Rumburg. You were obviously younger and barely getting your feet wet as far as like the events and stuff you were doing. But now you're at a point where it's like you kind of you elevated, you know, big to a different. You've already like done check shit off your checklist and you keep growing and the music's growing with you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like we've always seen it. Like Troy and I have always talked about it. Like, you know, an artist goes through their whole like high school era through each album. You know, their first album was their freshman year. Second album was their sophomore year, where they're kind of like reinstating themselves. Third album was kind of like the junior year, where you kind of experiment. And then senior year is when you're like, you know, right, I already have this experience. Here's this like my masterpiece, like my best project. You know, at least that's the way I see it from what I heard. You know, how do you feel about this project? Like how proud are you of it and what you've done with it?
I'm definitely proud, bro. Like I said, I feel like this is definitely the best music that I've made in a very, very long time. I haven't dropped an album in 2 years. I've been really quiet. I really been quiet. You know, I'm not gonna admit that. You know, but I feel like it's a sound that I've taken time to grow.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm trying different things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying different things, and you know, I'm not making a lot of like kind of like myself and like my personal, like super personal stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really like an experience, a different man. I don't like to say the word vibe so much, but it's a whole different like sound and vibe, and you know, and waves.
Yeah.
That this project, you know, is gonna hit people.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, like the first song, like
this is the best way to kick it off.
like it's like, you know, like I can.
You hit the ground running with that one for sure.
Yeah.
And like, I definitely enjoyed seeing that. You definitely, because like, you know, throughout the times whether you don't promote that you've been making music, like you'll always send me a track like as a demo or something, like how do you feel about this, or and every single time I feel like you're always trying something new, you're experimenting and playing around. And I've always like for the longest just thought to myself like, why doesn't he already start throwing that shit out, like do it, like people are gonna love this shit, you know. And I feel like you finally like reached the level where you started kind of put it in like integrating into this project, you know. And that's why I asked you on the first track, like, who's on the Alice? Because, like, I knew it was you, but I was like, did he do it already? Is he doing it already? You know, like, so when you said yes, I was like, okay, yes. Like, I'm excited for this. Like, like it just confirmed everything. Like, okay, he's finally started to integrating the experimentations he's been doing, the messing around with your vocals and just everything you do, you know. Like, I feel like in this project, you took a step forward and were able to kind of, like, move around freely instead of sitting in one spot and just kind of try different parts of it, of what you know your potential is, you know.
Yeah, and definitely with this project, you know, like I was just trying to make music that sounded real good to me.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't trying to get like super, super deep and, you know, kind of go back to like the Begotten Son. Like I hear myself in those records and I'm like, wow, like you were angry, you know.
Yeah.
But the reason why I was angry is because the world was angry.
Yeah.
You know, and with this one is like, we're like, hey, let me show you a different life.
Yeah.
Let me show you a different ride. Like, do you want to take the short way home or you want to take the long way home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both ways, you'll get home, but the long way home is gonna feel so much better. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, three features: FNED, DZ Brown.
Yeah.
4 features actually: Sorte and O'Malley.
I will say, it is the track with DZ was an amazing track, but of all the features, Sorte stood out to me the most. Like, I've always been Sorte is another person obviously I've always been friends with and I've been familiar with, and he is also somebody who's always reached out to me and like showed me before he came out as an artist, would always like send me stuff like, what do you think about this? What do you think? And I would start like, I was like, yeah, you know what you're doing, like just keep working at it. But this project too, I feel like it's it's like he had the opportunity to really showcase himself and really like kind of like show what he's capable of, you know. And I told him, I was like you definitely need to do something after this project drops, you know, like let Jay do his thing obviously, but he obviously gave you the room to like show off and do what you do best, and obviously, you know. And so I'm excited to see what comes forth with Sorte after this.
Yeah. He's definitely grown a lot, bro. Not only as a songwriter, rapper,
yeah,
but as a musician and even as a man in general.
Yeah.
I'm excited to what he does, you know, for his project coming up. You know, I've heard a couple songs and, you know, we debate, you know, go back and forth all the time, you know what I mean? But like I said, I'm really glad, like, you know, he trusts me whenever, like, you know, I have something for him, you know.
That's good. Hell yeah. And do you have a name for the project? Are you able to say the name?
Yeah, absolutely. So the project is called Still I Rise.
Still I Rise.
Still I Rise. 10 tracks. We might add that last one.
Yeah.
So that last one's still that. I think we are, honestly.
Okay.
I think we are. It fits right in.
Yeah.
It fits right in. 4 features. I'm excited, bro. Like, I'm excited. I definitely don't want to spill too much.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and it's you know, drop day. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah. I know my phone gonna be blowing up. You know.
Yeah, so. That's for sure, man. Let me know when you have a release party. We'll definitely be. That'll be exciting. I'm definitely excited to see how the turnout happens and the responses you get, because it's definitely a project that it has to be top 3 this year for sure. Like, I haven't heard anything else that's been going crazy like that. So I'm excited to see what happens. Do you have anything that you're working on, planning? I know obviously we have South by coming up, but do you have anything that you have working on the rollout, especially after it drops?
Yeah, we have we're shooting like 2 commercials.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're shooting 2 commercials for it. Those are gonna be really interesting and funny.
Yeah.
I know people are gonna fuck with them. Yeah, we got the Back in the Day music video done. That's the song with FNED.
Okay.
Probably this next music video that we're probably gonna shoot will probably be the song with DZ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably an interesting one. I like that one. I like. I'm excited to see what y'all come up with that one.
Yeah, and it's dope because like I sent the record to DZ. I did the record, and I was like, okay, I want to put a second verse on it.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, man. I need to give this to somebody that I know is gonna come and like
they gotta know
execute.
What to do with it.
Yeah, I gotta know what to do with it. I messaged bro, and he was all in.
Yeah.
He was all in from the first message. He was all in. He was like, send it, bro. I got you. And I'm like,
that's love.
No me digas más, bro. Like, that's it. Send it through. Sent it back, and I was just like, like just blown away, bro. Like really, really blown away. Because, I feel like as artists, when someone gives you the last verse,
you have to make sure you finish.
You have to make sure that you fill in that last verse spot.
Yeah.
I'm not like saying fucking go crazy with the rapping or this and that, but sonically, you have to.
And he's kind of the perfect artist to do that.
He was a perfect. I could not give that song to anybody else, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so proud that song came out the way it did. Because like, he like fucking killed it, bro. He fucking killed it. I'm excited, bro. I know we for sure gonna. I know I want to do like a live performance on that one. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go crazy on that.
Okay,
for sure.
Hell yeah, man. That's shit. I can't wait to see that then. Man,
and this is our first time we worked together too, bro.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked, but I was like,
we never worked when
Yeah,
I met bro twice, I believe.
Yeah. He's good people. Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, I'm surprised they haven't already done something before, but I feel like this is kind of just perfect timing. For him to be coming around, because I know DZ kind of has his like, I know for a fact he is really articulate and specific about who he works with, because he has his own like world that he's been building and whatnot. He has like, especially he has the Ghetto Gala with Jake Lloyd, the projects with EC, and now to be able to like get with you and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's gonna expand on both ends.
Yeah.
So that'll be for sure exciting to see how that comes out from both ends, especially in performances. Like I want to see that shit live.
That was shit crazy.
Yeah.
Still Our Eyes coming soon.
You have a date for it?
February 28th or March 5th.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. It's definitely been a pleasure. I'm grateful that I was able to come out to the listening at the studio. It was definitely it was a great feeling being out there and just catching a different environment out there. That shit was dope.
The studio was crazy too.
Yeah,
right?
the studio. And then
shout out Worm Studios.
I don't know what it was that you were working on afterwards, but I was fucking with that too. Shit, man, that shit was fucking. It was exciting. I don't think I've ever been in the same space as you when you were working on the track. So
that was cool. Your first time? I
think so. Yeah. So I was excited. It was cool to see that from
the other side of the window.
Yeah, for sure. Like seeing everything happening from the beginning, and obviously just the whole team you have going on, from your engineer, like, and the producers and everything. It's perfectly picked.
Thank you.
Props to you for everything you've been doing and everything you've been working on, and being able to stay consistent, because it's a tough job. It's a very tough job. You don't take small jobs. You don't take small jobs at all. Like you
if you have a small job for me, please do not call me.
Like yesterday's price is not today's price.
No,
like,
absolutely
on
not.
Different wavelengths, but I appreciate you coming out. I know we had been talking about this for a while, and this is definitely long overdue, like a one-on-one between you and I. I know we always shoot the shit, but
we always have great conversations, even off camera. Like when we're at Manny's surprise party.
Oh yeah, bro.
We talk for like an hour of just like
that's always what it's like.
We had like probably like 6 beers each, and then we're like, bro, like let's
like,
go outside and smoke or something. Like you know what I mean?
I know, but this is long overdue just to give people a little insight as to like how our conversations go, you know, obviously. But I'm excited for the album to come. I'm excited for what else we have coming up in the next few months and the rest of this year. Before we do close up, I like to end obviously on a positive note. If there's something you'd like to kick it off with, would you like me to hit it off?
I'll say something. I would say, you know, I feel like people got to be, got to show a little bit more compassion for each other. Yeah. You know, and also if your opinion is not, it's not a good opinion, like please don't say it. Yeah. And don't expect so much from like artists. You know. Yeah. Expect something. You know, if you've done your legwork and have picked up the broom, but other than that, like people gotta like chill, bro. I feel like a lot of people are like just super opinionated, bro. Like
nowadays everybody
nowadays like got something to say and this and that. People pointing fingers and people crying and stuff, like sitting and whining about what's not given to them or what's given to this person. Like, have a champion mentality. Have a winning mentality. Like, for sure, don't have a loser mentality.
Have the confidence in you.
Have the confidence in it, and and if you don't know, then inform yourself.
Yeah, there's so much to learn and so much to pick from other people, because to piggyback from what you're saying, I guess my note would be, don't basically just don't settle. I know for even my own experience, like sometimes it seems like shit is just not gonna turn out, and you're like, man, you know what? You start doubting yourself. I've done that so many times, but like in those times, even when you feel like you can't find that confidence and you can't find that flame to ignite your shit, reach out to those that can light that shit up. Like, I'm grateful to have people like you. When I reach out to you, Keith Corona, Fresh, Confucius, whoever, like I have the people that I can reach out to that will always like kind of like turn off that doubt, and just kind of just give me that boost of like confidence. Like, nah, like just do this or just switch that or shit around, and it's like the work ethic is there. So don't ever think that you're not doing something. You just gotta. Sometimes not everything's gonna take the same amount of time. Like some shit's gonna take longer than the rest. So just keep at it, and as long as you see progress, that's all that counts at the end. Yeah. But
absolutely. Thank you for having me, bro.
I appreciate you.
It was like you said, it was for sure overdue to sit down with me and you.
Like when I on the podcast today.
When I on the podcast,
Man, we'll have more coming for y'all eventually, all over time. But man, I appreciate you coming. I'm Mario from the South Side. This is I Don't Know That's Perfect, and I'm with
Vintage J, Big North. Album coming soon.
We're out.